Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator. We had the opportunity to go to the Talladega Marksmanship Park and test out some of our rifles there. And 600 yards, it's kind of tempting to test out this M2830 Finnish Mosin Nagant. Let's do a little back history on this rifle first. So around the 1920s and 30s, Finland had a lot of M91 Mosin Nagant rifles, and so they would take some of these rifles and make them a little bit more accurate. Now, some of the things they did to these rifles was change out the barrel, change the stock to an Arctic birch to help with cold weather. Specifically, the M28/30 would sometimes have a changed out wood stock to a birch stock. But this one here is a original Westinghouse stock, and it also has an original Westinghouse receiver and bolt that matches. Something else they did here with this rifle is when they changed it to the barrel, they changed it to a heavy barrel. They changed out the barrel band and the cleaning rod and the front sights. They also changed out the rear sights, and those are some of the more notable changes. Some of the internal changes is they added a little bit more, a nice little spring pressure on this trigger here, and they also added a aluminum piece underneath the barrel to help with the barrel harmonics and the heating and cooling element of the barrel. So when it comes down to it, this rifle was designed for accuracy. Specifically, they had different model types like the M27. The M2830 was a 1930 redesign of the 1928 models. One of the big differences between this rifle and previous versions was the upgraded rear sight. Now, there is a famous person in history who used the M2830. Do you know his name? Yeah, you probably know Simo Häyhä. Now, Simo Häyhä was a Finnish sniper during the Winter War, and he accumulated over 500 confirmed kills with a Mosin Nagant M2830 no scope. He's known as the White Death. Why is this? Because he had been an expert hunter. He definitely did a lot of marksmanship training. He took up this rifle as his primary rifle as opposed to using a rifle with a scope, and he definitely knew a lot of concealment and cover tactics during the Winter War. Oh, not only that, was that when the Russians invaded Finland during the Winter War, they didn't have the proper winter snow camo, whereas Simo Häyhä would have camo, and he would conceal himself in the snow. So when it came down to it, he was almost undetectable, and he was able to spot the enemy very clearly with their darker uniforms in the snow and take them out. Now, Simo Häyhä did, at the end of the Winter War, take a shot to the face. He almost died, but the war had ended when he came out of a small coma. Besides that epic history, the M2830 was also used in the World Shooting Competition in Helsinki in 1937 by Finland. Now, they did really, really well, and I'm pretty sure that this rifle, if they used it for a World Shooting Competition, would do fairly well at the Talladega Marksmanship Park at 600 yards. So let's roll that footage. Alright, so we had to wake up really early and get going to go to the range here. We showed up at the Talladega Marksmanship Park, and man, this place is a great place. I mean, it was a nice day out. So we started at the 100-yard targets. So I set the sights to 100 yards. I was shooting a little high, so I came down a little bit, and my shot groups were on point. Now you gotta remember, these rear sights were really set for meters. So if I'm shooting at 100 yards, I'm really shooting at 91.44 meters. With that, I moved on to the 200-yard targets. Did fairly well at the 200. Moved on to the 300. Yet again, I think it was shooting a little bit high, so I didn't really end up adjusting my sights too much from the 100 to 200 to 300. I just kind of kept them the same and just had fairly consistent results by using a very slight Kentucky windage on the elevation. All right, so making it past the 300-yard targets, it looked like I was pretty accurate. And now moving to the 600-yard target. By this time, my shoulder was starting to hurt a little bit, but you know, whatever. Just carry on and just keep shooting. So that's what I did. 600 yards is a little bit more difficult. I really had to pay attention to all the marksmanship techniques. Had to go back, kind of re-antiquate myself with breathing and the steady position and the light trigger squeeze and the trying to maintain the proper sight picture throughout.
Bam! Oh, man, that was awesome. It was right on top of the last one. Man, that is a really sweet shot group. Oh, you're back.
And as you can see here, my shot groups for the 600 yard was pretty good. Look at that.
All right, so looking at the target here, scored a 6, an 8, a 10, a 9, a 9, and a 10. So, yeah, definitely in there at 600 yards. And I figured out the sweet spot for this 2830 is right there, right underneath the 5. And that would be like the 500 meter mark. And we're shooting at 600 yards. So that equates to more like 550 meters. So it being set to right there under 5, my sight picture is just covering the black. So just covering the black. And it's really, really small. It's like a small dot when you look down range. So yeah, awesome. M2830.
Overall, am I impressed with the Mosin Nagant M2830? Well, yeah, this thing is a beast. Not only that, my shoulder, but hey, it's all part of what you do out there at the range, man. You gotta expect these things, you know? So, it's not a very light rifle to have at the range. Don't expect to not get a bruised shoulder after you're done shooting it at 600 yards. So, essentially, this rifle is very accurate, and I pretty much have no doubt that Simo Häyhä would have not had an issue trying to take out an invading force of Soviets that were wearing darker colored uniforms in the snow. So, in that aspect, I think, yeah, this rifle would have definitely held up to the job. The heavy barrel didn't get too hot while I was shooting out there. So the heat dissipation through the wood and the aluminum tab in the front underneath the barrel band there definitely probably helped a lot, honestly. The ammo I was using was PPU, pretty standard ammo, but it was brass cased. I didn't really want to use any of the steel case stuff, so I went along with brass cased. And it seemed to shoot really, really well. So maybe if I had some better ammunition, I probably could have got tighter shot groups. But overall, the ammo I don't think was very good, or it wasn't very bad. It was just there in the middle, doing pretty well. If you have a Mosin Nagant that's modified by the Finnish Civil Guard, or it was used by the Finnish military, let me know in the comments what you've tested it at or how you like shooting it. Now, these are really collectible because they have been modified by the Finns, and they're a lot harder to find than your standard Mosin Nagant M9130s or your Mosin Nagant M91s. So You know, if you see one of these in the store, I definitely recommend it, especially if you have a passion for long-range shooting and history of long-range shooters. So overall, let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, be sure to learn history and curate history. Make it a great day.